Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here or Luna. So today's story time is about two things: a job I used to work and acid, and specifically how they don't go together in any situation. I always get comments all the time, like pretty much every day, of people being like, "Yo, man, have you ever worked like a normal job? Like, have you ever like done anything besides YouTube?" And I've done a couple things. One of the things I've talked about, and the other one I haven't talked about. And today I'm about to talk about that today. So today's story time, it all starts off as a normal day, okay? I'm sitting in my room and I was really excited. I was 16 years old and I had just gotten hired at a pet shop nearby. Yes, a pet shop, where they sell pets, leopard geckos, kittens, goldfish, lizards, fucking guinea pigs. You know what a pet shop is. Anyway, I had just gotten hired at this pet shop. And at this time, I was doing YouTube. I had just started doing it like a little bit more frequently and it was starting to pick up some traction, but it wasn't enough traction to pay for essentials or anything. So I still wanted like a normal job on the side, and I also really wanted to work at this pet shop because all my friends worked there. I had like 3 friends that worked there from school. So they got me hired. My friends put in a good word, the boss liked me, we did an interview, he hired me, and my first day was coming up soon. So I was really excited, right? Like life was really going my way. So I decided that it would be a good idea to drop acid to celebrate. Yep, later that night at about, 4 or 5 in the morning, I was pulling an all-nighter. I thought to myself, yeah, I'm going to drop acid because I'm going to celebrate. Now, before I took this acid, I looked at it in my hand and I was like, well, here we go. And I put it on my tongue and I took it. Keep in mind, it was like 5 in the morning at this point and it was May 14th. Now, when I saw the date on my home screen, I was like, shit, I need to set a reminder for my first day of work in a couple days. So I go on my calendar and I set a reminder for May 16th because that was my first day of work. So yeah, I set this reminder for May 16th at 6 a.m. I had to get up at 6, be at the shop by 6:30 and talk to the owner and help him open up the shop and stuff. So yeah, I did that. So in my mind, I thought I was all good. I was like, okay, we're good. I just took this acid. I'll just, relax for the rest of the night. And then I have the whole day tomorrow to relax and, kind of like recuperate. And then the day after that, I start work. So, yeah, after I set this reminder for work on the 16th, I lay down and I start watching a movie. And it starts to kick in a little while later. And like right after it starts to kick in and like I really start to feel this shit, I get a call at 6:30 a.m. from a random phone number. And I answer it and I'm like, "Hello?" And I hear, "Austin, where are you?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Who is this?" He goes, "Your boss?" And he says the pet shop's name. And I was like, "What? No, I don't start till the 16th." He's like, "No, you start today." So I muted the phone call and I literally just said, "Fuck me." And I unmute the phone and I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'll be there in like 10 minutes." He goes, "Okay, like, late on your first day. That's not a good look." I was like, "I know. I'm sorry. I'll be right there." So I hang up, I jump out of bed, I get dressed, and I rush to this fucking pet shop on my bike, full speed. And let me tell you, biking full speed on acid and, rushing and being anxious was a fucking terrible feeling. I was ridden with anxiety. So I get to this fucking pet shop. I'm seeing shapes at this point. I go into the pet shop, and my boss is waiting for me. And he goes, "Austin, there you are." And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "Yeah, nothing. I need you to help stock the shelf. It's the dog food shelf. All the labels are already up on the shelves. You just have to go through this box, find whatever one matches the label, and put it there." I was like, "Okay, for sure." So I go over there, and let me tell you, trying to identify which dog food goes where and trying to read these labels while having an insane trip was not a very easy thing to do. And I was working at turtle pace. Like literally 30 minutes into this, I'd barely gotten like 2 of the dog foods on the shelf. And my boss walks over. He's like, "Austin, you having some trouble?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that good." He's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just kind of having some trouble reading these labels and like matching them to the shelf." And he's like, "Come on, like here, I'll show you." And he starts showing me what to do. And I knew very well what to do. I was just very fucking out of it and I could not, work at a fast pace. So after he shows me what to do and he walks away and leaves me to it, I just decide, okay, I have 2 options here. I either sit here all day and keep fucking this up and get fired for messing it up, or I just put it all where I think it's going to go and try and go on to my next task. And yeah, my dumbass organized this shelf completely wrong, thinking it was the right thing to do. Obviously it wasn't, but I knew if I didn't hurry up and get that shit done, my boss was about to yell at me on my first day and humiliate me in front of all my friends. So I just put up a bunch of random dog foods in a bunch of random places and told him I was done. And he's like, all right, awesome. Like, I'm glad you got the hang of it. Take this food and go feed the betta fish. So I'm like, okay, great. So I take the fish food and I go over to the fish aisle and I start feeding these betta fish. And this was easy. You know, this was a simple task. I know how to feed a fish. I've had many fish in my lifetime. Some may call me a professional fish connoisseur. Okay, like I know what I'm doing when it comes to fish. I'm just fucking kidding, but I definitely know how to feed a fish. It's not rocket science. So yeah, I feed these betta fish, and when I get done feeding them, I start kind of freaking out. You know, like it starts to hit me that I am tripping balls on my first day of work, and there's all these bright lights on me from like the overhead lights, and I don't know what I'm doing half the time, and I'm nervous and just anxious in general. I mean, everyone's nervous their first day of work on a new job, so imagine doing that while tripping balls. You know, it's just not an easy task. So I start to kind of have a panic attack, and I sit down, and I put my head between my knees so I can, like, calm down. And all of a sudden, I get a tap on my shoulder, like, 5 minutes later, from my boss. He's like, Austin, what are you doing? You sleeping on the job? Like, come on, man. It's your first day. You got to get up. I was like, I'm not sleeping. He's like, really? Because it kind of looks like you're sleeping. Like, it definitely looks like you're sleeping. I was like, no, I'm not. And he goes, well, let me tell you something. You can't sleep right now because you need to go and reorganize all of the dog foods. I just checked that aisle. All of it was wrong. You organized it completely wrong, all mismatched. I put it all back on the floor. Go redo that right now, please. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I walk over to the aisle and I start trying to reorganize these dog foods. And he's like over my shoulder the whole time watching me. And every mistake I make, he's like, dude, you're doing it wrong again. Like, how many times do I have to show you? So when he said this, something just came over me. It was like a dark cloud of anger. I turn to him, I look at him, and I go, no, I quit. He goes, what? You're going to quit on your first fucking day because you don't know how to organize some dog food? And I look him in the eye, and I just go, no, I'm not quitting because I don't know how to order dog food. I'm quitting because I am on fucking acid, tripping absolute balls, and I'm here working at a fucking pet shop in the middle of this. I quit. And I turn around and I start walking away. And he grabs me by the shoulder and he goes, what'd you just say? Acid? You're on acid right now on your first day of work? You really think that's responsible, Austin? And I was like, no, it's not responsible. And that's why I quit. Because I'm on acid, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm a dumbass, I know. But I didn't think that this was my first day. I had my scheduling all wrong. And he goes, I can't believe you. Like, your friends, they vouch for you up and down, but I can't have someone that comes in all messed up to their first work shift. And I look at him again, and I was like I said, it was an accident. But yeah, I agree. That's why I quit. He goes, you can't quit because you're fired, Austin. And I was like, nope, I'm pretty fucking sure I just quit. I just told you I quit. You don't need to do the whole, oh, you can't quit because you're fired thing. Like, it's not a movie. You don't need to add dramatic effect. And he gets all angry. He's like, Austin, just fucking leave. Just get out of my sight. I don't want to see you anymore. I was like, okay, good luck with the pet shop. And I left. Now listen, I definitely took the L in this situation. It was a very irresponsible move of me in this whole situation to do what I did. But at the same time, I just couldn't fucking be there any longer. I needed to leave because it was not a good environment for me. I'm well aware that I created the bad environment myself, but, had to get out of there. But yeah, guys, moral of this story is, don't do anything that I just talked about in this story time. Ever. Not a good idea. But yeah, guys, that's the story time of how I got fired from one of my only jobs that I've worked. And, I had a good run. It was a long job. I was there for like an hour and a half. That shit was crazy. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
Like, what's up? They leave me out for the dead, and now they know their fault. All my texts are unread, that's how